Before the break, we asked which one of these is true. And the answer is all three of them.
Thank you kindly. You're watching The Right Stuff. We're live on 5 this Thursday morning with Diane Abbott, Revels over there, and our special guest Chris Barrie, who's going to have the rest of today's headlines, hopefully in a variety of different voices for you shortly. First, though, I really am laying my cards down on the table here. Diane Abbott made the cut, still in the race for Labour leader, but I'm not sure there's anything to celebrate. Right Stuff at 5.tv is the place for your thoughts. Now, what is it, 2 and a bit weeks back, if you're watching, when she threw her hat in the ring, I was thrilled. And yet this morning I'm gutted. Why? Why the change? Well, because the only reason she got through to the final round is because the favourite, Millibands, got his followers to back her at the 11th hour. And why would he do that? Well, I'm not the only commentator to think it might have had something to do with all the other candidates being white, Oxbridge-educated men. Millibands, Burnham, Andy, and Balls, Ed. Diane's presence still a good gag after all these years. Diane's presence, of course, changes all of that and makes Labour suddenly look good. It makes it look inclusive, it makes it look caring, it makes it look sharing. Now, Millibands denies his decision to back a rival candidate, right? A rival who happens to be a black woman, was either tokenistic or patronising. But given he couldn't even spell her name right on his Twitter page, there's one N, not two, David, do you actually believe him? Maybe he backed Diane, knowing that her presence on the shortlist might split the left-wing vote and damage brother Ed's chances of beating him. Tracy Ann.
Oh, it's like a tragedy, isn't it? The fall of the House of Millibands, two brothers slogging it out. Well, I think it probably was a very cynical attempt at widening it out, but the irony being that Diane herself is Oxbridge-educated and lives in London. So if you take away the colour of her skin, she's the same as the rest of them. So, you know, it's...
Oh, and the fact she hasn't got a winky woo, of course, which is...
always related. I don't think that...
That was absolutely uncalled for.
No, but I mean, it isn't, because it's all men. It's all men, and there should be half the candidates should be women. Harriet Harperson says she wants the shadow cabinet to be half women.
And a woman didn't step forward. But in a way, I think it's an own goal, because I think Diane Abbott is incredibly media savvy. She's been a media pundit for a long time now. She's very captivating. She's a great speaker. She's got a great sense of humour, and the public know her and warm to her.
So what a shame, then, that Labour members of Parliament didn't back her nomination.
Didn't like her policy, presumably.
Left of centre. What do you think, Revels?
Well, I think she should be there, actually. I agree with that.
Even if it's done
this
way?
Well, yes.
You've got the front runner.
Yes, but we never had a choice.
Another candidate.
We didn't have a choice with Gordon Brown, let's face it.
No, look how well that went.
Yes, I know, but still, I think she should be there, and it's nice having someone like that there, you know, to represent not only women, to represent that community as well.
Craig, it would be a fantastic moment if Labour MPs had supported a black woman, albeit to the left of centre of the party, but they didn't. Yeah. It's the front runner that's put her name in to make the shortlist look good, or am I wrong, Chris?
Well, to be fair to Diane Abbott, she did start some weeks ago. She obviously saw who was coming forward to be leader of the Labour Party and thought, this is ridiculous. We're supposed to be the party of diversity and equality. There's no women coming forward. Harriet Harperson obviously didn't come forward, you know, probably worried about the size of her arse. And, you know, there we had four, I'm sorry, middle-class white Oxbridge 40-somethings. You know, Burnham was clinging yesterday on to, I'm Northern, I'm working class, you know, putting on his Northern accent to say I'm the only working class opposed to the intellectuals, which is, you know, which is fake. They're just four, you know, for the party of diversity, I'm sorry, that is just not on. But she started it, and that's all power to her for that. But she really had kind of almost, not retired, but she sort of moved, as you say, Tracy Ann, to the shores of media, Portillo-esque television stuff, you know? So we can see through this. Who needs spitting image when they do it for us?
Exactly.
Well, there's a thought. What about you guys at home? Diane Abbott making the cut for Labour leader. Is that something to celebrate when you consider how it happened? Right Stuff at 5.tv is the place for your thoughts. We are hoping to have her here, by the way, in the not-too-distant future. It'd be great to talk to her about it. After the break, though, it's Chris with the rest of today's headlines, including the latest on university tuition fees, and it ain't great news, and why the Queen was not amused by one loyal subject's choice of clobber. Moosed? More after the ads. But first, we're going to get the rest of today's papers from you, Chris. What have you got for us?
Well, first of all, on The Sun, yes, for the first time in my life, I decided to read The Sun.
How do you find it?
I find it football, you see. They're quite good on football, so a bit of I tend to go to the back pages first, but the front page was caught my eye this time. Insult to Sarah Payne, because the judge has cut 10 years off Roy Whiting's jail term, which is insulting, really, to the memory of Sarah Payne. And yet another indication of the leniency of the court.
Why has he done this, the judge, or she done this?
Well, I don't know, to be honest with you.
Okay.
To me, it's just another indication of the leniency of the courts and the justice system, you know, that does need complete, I think, reappraisal in this country.
Because sentences...
life should mean life, I believe, and sentences should... And prison should mean prison. I saw yesterday some pictures of a very modern architecture, lots of glass, lots of sort of, aluminium and stuff, and I thought, new hotel. No, new prison. And I thought, this is just crazy. Prison should mean prison, I believe.
OK. I'm sure plenty of people agree with you as well. Anything else?
Yes, the Barack Obama has decided to... Well, he's sort of indirectly putting the boot on the throat of British pensioners. The Daily Telegraph announces here, and, of course, that's the share price of BP, which is going ever lower in view of the problems that BP are having over...
It's £1 in £7 within British pension funds comes from BP. So if their share price goes down, everybody's pension goes down. Obama's really on BP's case here, and yet my understanding is there are two American companies that are arguably just as culpable. The rig was American-operated. Halliburton are involved, and
that's right.
I'm starting to wonder whether there's a sort
But at the end of the day, one would have to say that, the people coordinating everything is BP.
Yeah.
And, it's been noticeable the way he's been saying British Petroleum,
he really is laying it on thick.
And you've got to imagine, what would happen if they were sort of drilling for oil, if an American company were drilling for oil off the coast of Devon, and suddenly Devon and Cornwall were drenched in the black stuff. How would Cameron react?
Yeah, it would all be America's fault. That is for sure.
I mean, Cameron, but he wouldn't be sort of saying British Petroleum and getting really quite aggressive like Obama's been doing. Cameron was saying, this is clearly unacceptable.
But is that because the scale?
This is what he says in any situation.
And
a British
politician going, I agree.
Yes, Pinky or Perky standing there.
Okay, let's have a couple more from you. What's your next one?
OK, what have we got here? Yes, this Fox business goes on and on. And it's as soon as I heard it and the importance that the story was achieving in the headlines, I thought there's got to be something strange going on here. What was it? Was it a Fox?
Okay,
don't start that kind of words. That's exactly
someone else thought that.
I've slapped Craig's wrist about that yesterday. But there are people saying this.
This is 2010. This is London. Hackney. Do not keep your door open.
But the story now.
Chris, you should have been here yesterday.
I just got to make this absolutely clear here, right? I mean, the fox was seen in the room chewing effectively on a child's arm. So I think, I don't know, the cynicism I find difficult to take, and I don't know whether it's particularly respectful to the children. I think the point of the story here is that they've got a photograph of the fox on a patio, but we're also aware that two other foxes have been caged and put down. So, I mean, is it the fox? That's what everyone seems to realise. Is this the fox? Is it not? I don't know. All foxes look the same to me, apart from some of the ones in town look really manky.
Look, I think we've known for many years that there are urban foxes and they're straying into the towns in big numbers, relatively speaking. And as I said, I just go back to the thing, just don't keep your door open. It's lucky it was a fox.
Well, certainly I think that we've learnt that lesson, albeit under very tragic circumstances. We'll have one more from you, please, Chris.
Well, yes, it's this extraordinary story about All You Need Is Love. It's unemployed Dutch women are being offered €1,400, which is over £1,000, fashion and beauty makeover, and free membership of a dating agency. Oh, hello, Mrs. Yes. To get them off the dole by finding a solvent husband.
No.
This is crazy, yes. Single job seekers will be given a new hairstyle and outfit. And tips. I thought it said lips for a minute.
What was it like when you...
and tips from a life coach on how to attract a new partner or a job. Now, this has it's another story I heard yesterday was a course in South London. Did you?
Yeah,
hear
the
this?
shoes, the high heels and
A
handbags.
6-week course on how to walk properly in high heels.
But I think that is sensible, actually. I mean, it does save injury, at least.
That was 150 quid. This is over 1,000.
I know.
Amazing.
Give it all, yes.
Yeah.
Osborne, toss it up. Take it off on the thing. Yeah.